Good evening and welcome to the Radical Race Series. Round 2 takes us to the Odd Amas Rodriguez in Mexico City, Mexico. I am Tom Cairns in the contra position. Alongside me is James Parfitt, who will be with me to go through the action over the course of not just one, but 2 races around this high altitude circuit, 2.2 kilometers above sea level to be more specific. Let's have a look at the scores on the doors. We begin with the SR10s. Simon Edwards, who won both the class races within the SR10s, is on top of the pile with 83 points. 10 clear over Heinz Braun and Christoph Lipp. And a man who is a further point back is Sebastian Lipp in 4th position, with Bruno Fitzgerald and George Gonzada a further couple of points back. So the top 6 in the SR10s are separated by just 13 points. In the SR8s, Alexander Schutzke won both of the SR8 races in Sebring last time out. He's ahead by 13 points over Robert Woodward in 2nd place. And it's Jamie Bird in 3rd, tied with Stefan Mellis. And of course, we've been the 2nd round of the championship. Of course, there's a long way to go yet in this series. Let's bring James Parfitt into the booth to get a word from him about what he expects to see around here tonight. James, good evening.
Good evening, dear sir. How are we? How is everybody at home? Thank you so much for joining us if you are here. Looking forward to this. Good to be back on the old Battle of the Radicals, Radical Race Series. We've got about 2.5 minutes left of qualifying. And as you can see, it's Simon Edwards out in front. SR10s are in silver. SR8s are in gold. Just in case you're wondering. I think this is going to be very interesting. I don't know. I haven't really done enough broadcasting it to decide if I'm a lover or a hater of this circuit yet. I'm still in the middle, but I think these guys in multi-class are going to develop and bring some absolutely great racing. So I'm looking forward to it.
Considering the characteristics of both the SR8s and the SR10s, James, we've been Mexico City now. I know in real life, high altitude does play a huge role in this. But do you think it'll actually still play a role in this particular occasion with these cars and, of course, with the layout of this?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the thing with these cars. They're very high downforce cars. Doesn't matter if you're in the SR8 or the SR10. Generally, I think from my perspective, having driven both of these, I prefer the 8. All day. I don't like the 10. It's not really great for me. On the 8, I can engine brake. On the 10, I can't. I have to wait for it to come down a certain amount of revs, and there's a whole lot of different things involved. But I think both of these cars are quite a very high downforce cars. Generally, they are ballast to match up because of the BOP to make sure they do sort of race together, should we say. But I think overall, I think it doesn't matter which car you're going to be in. I think you're going to pick up the draft, and I think it's going to be quite strong, especially down that long run from the straight down after the final corner.
Yep, and which Christoph Lipp has just gone through turns 1, 2 and 3, beginning his final attempt. As far as the schedule is concerned, of course, it's been 3 weeks since the last run we had at Sebring. After Mexico City, we go to Daytona on the road course. Then it's off to Long Beach, California on the 22nd of this month. Then it's off to Europe for the first time at Rudskogen Motor Centre in Norway on the 29th. And then we begin February at Brands Hatch on the Grand Prix course. Then it's back to stateside at Charlotte Motorsport USA, Charlotte Motor Speedway USA on the Roval 2019 layout. And then it's off to Austin on the Grand Prix layout on the 19th of Feb. Then it's to Mount Panorama, Bathurst, Australia on the 26th. And then we finish off the campaign at the Temple of Speed at Monza on the 5th of March, which should be a fascinating occasion there. Top of the pile is Christoph Lipp out of everyone so far. Then it's Alexander Schutzke in 2nd place, the man who won both class races in Sebring last week. He's aiming for more glory here, as is Simon Edwards, who is in 3rd place in the SR10s. One to look forward to, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is going to be an interesting one for Marcus Lang. He's got improvements all across the 2 sectors. Oh, he just missed it. He did just miss it. He missed it by about 10 yards. Literally. Oh, Marcus. Sad times. Anyway, let's bring you up the grid, shall we? Because that's what you want.
It's Christoph Lipp, who ended up top of the pile, and he's on pole position for the first of 2 races here. It's the sprint first and then the feature. Alexander Schutzke, his compatriot, is alongside, and it's Simon Edwards and James Barry next to each other in 3rd and 4th. Christian Schutzke and Marcus Lang on the 3rd row, and it's George Gonzaga and Bruno Fitzgerald on row number 4. Sally Reitinen and Heinz Braun are the ones running out the top 10. Robert Woodward and Seth Brown on row 6, and it's Tobias Treacle and Javard Brown. And it's Phil Glover and Fabio Regis on row number 8. Stefan Mellis and Steve Webb on row 9, with James Frunsnick and Graham Matthews running out the top 20. On the 11th and final row are Kevin Harwood and Sebastian Lipp.
Awesome. Should be a fun one. Who's going to come out on top?
Depends where your lips are at. We've got one lip at the front and one lip at the back. So that is that's quite a headline for you. But of course, we've got a long way to go in this first of 2 races. It'll be 9 laps long, this first race. And the drivers are just getting themselves ready for the start of this one. I think we're just waiting on Marcus Lang and the 2 drivers on the back row of the grid, Kevin Harwood and Sebastian Lipp, who didn't set a time in that qualifying session. So we'll see how he gets on. In contrast, his brother or relative is on pole position ahead. Brother, yeah, thank you for clarifying that. But I'm looking forward to see how they go tooth and nail down to turn 1. The lights are coming on now when the Extinguisher will be racing here in Mexico City. Lights are on. Lights off, it's Joe, and a terrible getaway from the man starting 5th place on the grid. Christian Schutzer getting off to a poorly start, but Simon Edwards lapped up into 2nd place ahead of Schutzer, Alexander that is, and Christoph Lipp has had a decent start to this one, but the toe down to turn 1 is where that could be the decisive factor in how this first race could get decided. On the inside is Simon Edwards, but it's Christoph Lipp who leads the way out of turn 1. It's Simon Edwards in 2nd place, Alexander Schutzer in 3rd position ahead of the fellow SR8 James Barry. It looks like Bruno Fitzgerald's gone round for a spin, James.
Yeah, him, Martin Lang, Christian Schutzer have all look like they've all had their own little bits of drama here. And unfortunately, it is, there you go, there's the contact. And a couple of the guys go running off the circuit. Do manage to come back on, watch the rejoin. However, he did come back on straight in the middle to the beginning. But Christoph Lipp got away there as well. As you say, Christian Schutzer didn't go anywhere off the line. We've lost Sebi Lipp already. Unfortunately for Sebastian, not quite sure what the problem is. But Robert Woodward is mixing it up with Yabba Brown currently in this 10th and 11th battle, sitting further down. Robert sitting in 7th in class, Yabba in 5th. Christian Schutzer looks like he's just had more drama. And unfortunately for this young man, it does not look like it's going well.
He tumbles further down the order. You can just see, is that Tobias Treacle going wide off the circuit? I can't quite see from that angle. It may well have been through the S's. By the way, they survive and they're coming to the Forest Sol for the first time in this first race. And so far, it's so good for the likes of Seth Brown, up from 12th to 7th. James Franznik up from 19th to 15th. And those are the biggest gainers so far as the first lap is about to reach its conclusion. It's Christian Lipp who's in the lead with Simon Edwards in P2.
Yeah, doing a great job, these guys, as they always are. Graham Matthews has been caught up in some grief. Steve Webb is having a nice little tasty battle at the moment. That's Fabian Regis on the outside of him. Unfortunately, though, it does look like Tobias Treacle just managed to clear off a slowdown. Webb's going to look up the inside. There's another dive coming down, I think, into turn number 1 on the right. Stevie Webb, is he going to be able to get there? Nope, just settles back in behind Fabian Regis, and Regis managed to hold on to that position.
And Heinz Braun has leapt up into 7th place past Seth Brown at turn 1, so he's also on the move. And there we see the class timing towers now. So you can just see the gaps between the drivers in their respective classes. James Barry is leading the way in the SR race ahead of Alexander Schutzer. Then it's George Gonzaga in 3rd position, followed by Seth Brown and Marcus Lang. But there you can just see there's a driver on the move there. Past Steve Webb, I believe. That'll be one of the SR10 drivers who's just gone through. That is Bruno Fitzgerald, making up for lost ground at the start.
Yeah, absolutely. Simon Edwards has closed right in as they start going in through the run, through the S's at the moment, and then coming down in the Rector Dolavalio on the second from, what's that, 3rd to last corner before they carry on here as well. But Simon Edwards closed right in on Christoph Lipp, both men in the SR10, James Barry in a 10 as well, Alexander Schutzer in an 8. So yeah, Barry 3 10s at the front, and then Schutzer in the 8 behind him.
Schutzer following the likes of Barry, who is running rather strongly here so far. And I wonder what happened to Sebastian Lipp didn't get going. And we've had a driver drop down the order. Steve Webb has gone back behind Tobias Treacle, so I don't know whether he's had a moment somewhere in the Forest Sol section. But that is lap 2 done, and Schutzer is on the tail of James Barry. This is the section where the SR10s should come into their zone here, JP. I think, well, I thought he might have gone for it there at turn 1. He might still go for it. You could just see Barry almost like he's moving across the braking zone there, but it wasn't too aggressive that time around. And the line out of turn 3, you could just see Schutzer running so far out wide. I just want to maybe see a few slowdowns through there, because there's going to be drivers pushing ever so hard with these machines.
Absolutely, they're going to be giving them a load of run here, and that's the thing. The SR8's got to be driven aggressively. You can't, you know, the SR10's a little bit more delicate. maybe it just might be my bad driving, to be blatantly honest with you, but I just find the SR10 a little bit wimpy compared to the 8, and I think Schutzka's got to get the 8, you know, grab it by the ball by the horns almost, and just give it a good old go, let it loose and let it have some. You can see him through the S's now. He closes right into the back of Barry. He's going to be looking for that run if he can into the Rector Davalio, and if he can get that run, he might be able to get him coming out the final corner, but we're going to find out how that one plans out very, very shortly.
Through the Forestall again, and Schuster's opened up a 3.5-second margin over George Gonzaga behind. He's got Soli Reitinen right on his tail, the flying phone going after the Portuguese. But there you could just see James Berry going over the curbs there, over the white line. And now surely Schuster should be within range to attack, and the same could be applied to Simon Edwards, who's in the slipstream of Christian Lipp further up front. He's now got the gap to Tiger 7th here, but it feels like that's going to be irrelevant. And through goes Simon Edwards, and Lipp didn't even fight that.
No, he's got nothing to fight. There's no point, is he, on the end of the day? Edwards has gone through. Schuster did not get Barry. I am surprised he did not get Barry. Solly Reitinen did not get Gonzaga. Seth Brown, however, is trying up the inside of Marcus Lang. Can't get through either. Stefan Mellis and Fabio Regis. Regis just gone past on Mellis. So a couple of few people gaining places there, but no change at the front. And Edwards and Lipp. Well, Edwards did get Lipp then. When did that happen?
Edwards got him on the pit straight, James.
Got him down into turn 1, didn't he? Sorry, my mistake.
So that's Edwards going past Lipp that time around. So Edwards not only leads the SR10s, but he also leads the race overall. And he's looking to continue his fine start to the season as far as the championship is concerned. He's leading the championship overall out of every driver in this series. 4 points clear over Alexander Schuster, who's running in 4th place. Now Christoph Lipp will just do his utmost just to keep up with Edwards. Heinz Braun has a slowdown to his name, so he's going to be pretty much a sitting duck to Phil Glover, who's having a decent race so far, has to be said, running in P12 overall. He's another one of those competing in the SR10s. We may get a word with Phil Glover, because we do usually hear from him in between races, or perhaps we may speak to him after the action is done. Off the track goes James Fransnick, who's in front of Bruno Vittorino, who's continuing to make his fight back through the field. Of course, he hasn't got long left, and there's only 5 laps left, so Vittorino needs to get a move on here.
Yeah, he does. It does look like Steve Webber's continuing his week of, well, I don't know what quite sure he was at last night in another series, but he seems to be having a little bit of a rough one as well in this. He's going to go round now. That back end's coming round. Sorry, Steve, to point that out to you, but you do. Unfortunately, he drops down the orders now in 19th. Talking about Phil Glover's little group at the moment, and Phil was tucked in there. He's got Franzik and Vittorino closing in on him. Franzik's just got in way deep there. He's going to go across the grass. Hell, why not? If you can't do it, you might as well Bottas it. And Vittorino has just cleared him as well. And Heinz Braun's going to have a go on the inside. But we've now got Edwards, we've got Lipp, and we've got Barry, and we've got Schuster. These 4 not very far apart at all.
No, not at all. And what I was going to allude to is the fact that the top 10 are reversed for the second race. The feature, the man sitting in 10th place is Alexander Schuster's brother, Christian. But he's got Robert Woodward and Phil Glover right behind Old Gunning to be in that position for the second race. But there are the leaders at the top 4, all in your picture. There they are, look, coming towards the Forestall once more. And it could be any of these taking victory in race number 1 here in the sprint.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the thing. They've got to be careful. The problem is they don't want to battle like this and trip over each other, because if they trip over each other, it's going to be absolutely horrendous. They've got to make sure that they can keep them stuck with each other, and even if they bring it down to that final lap, they've got to have a go, but otherwise they could be in deep trouble.
Yeah, well, Edwards is the man punching the hole in the air right now, because he's given the toe to the drivers behind. I think Lipp may decide to go back through here unless he's feeling tactical enough to wait until the last lap. But he's not doing that. He's going back through on Simon Edwards into turn 1. And just like what we saw when roles were reversed, Edwards doesn't fight that one.
No, definitely not. And I'm wondering now whether or not Lipp's going to use the brain, play smart, back Edwards into Barry. They're teammates, both from the insert name e-racing team. They might as well back each other up, and that's the thing. If Lipp uses his brain, he can back Edwards right up into Barry.
And they've got 6 seconds in hand over George Gonzaga, so even if they do lose time. I don't think Gonzaga and that will have enough time to close in anyway. So we'll see how these get on between now and the end. Just looking to see if there's any other battles going on further down the order. Well, Vitorino's back up into 12th place. He's now 2 positions away from reverse grid pole, and he has got enough time to make up the ground. But, 4 seconds may not sound like a lot, James, but in this series, on a short lap like this, or a shorter lap compared to a lot, it's going to be a tough ask, really, for Vitorino to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. You're in a field now with a very experienced field. I've known some of these drivers for a while, and you're in a very experienced field. That just literally says it all. In the SR10, 3.7k average, 2.2k on the 8s. So nobody's a slouch. We're not running just new drivers. As Seth Brown gets that all a little bit wrong, he loses that position to Javad Brown with Christian Schutzke there. Seth has just had some contact with him and Christian. I'm not quite sure which way around that was. However, Christian should be shot. Well, maybe not shot, that's a bit extreme for that rejoin, but he just, I think him and Brown got into a little bit of a ta-ta-ta. He did. Schutzke just runs in, puts Brown round, and this is where the blame should be. Oh!
And an unsafe rejoin from Christian Schutzke.
Yeah, absolutely. I think George wants to get hold of him and give him the right stick on that one. But back up front, Edwards is under pressure from Barry. Lips slowly breaking away, and Alexander Schutzke, I should say, is on the back end of that, and not Christian, who's a little bit further away.
The demise of Christian Schutzke and Seth Brown, who he came together with, has elevated Bruno Vitorino into the reverse grid pole position, which will be something for Vitorino to take forward. But these 4 could play a role in maybe how reverse grid pole gets decided, because they've been at it for a number of laps now. It looks like Christian Lipp has opened up that 1 second margin, which is a good buffer to have at this stage. But now the attention shifts to the battle for second between Edwards, Barry, and Schuster to the end.
Oh, absolutely. Barry's got it all to lose now. If Lips backed him in, if backed Edwards in, Barry's got it all to gain. He's just got to go after him. Put the pedal to the metal, son. Don't mess around and just go straight full bore now. Because I can tell you what, he's never probably hadn't had this opportunity all the way through the race. And now he's got him dead in his sights. He was coming down 3 tenths. Schutzke's not really moving behind him. Barry's closing in on Edwards. Quicker than Schutzke's closing in on him. Edwards goes defensive both ways. I don't think Barry's choosing to go, though. He's not.
No. I would have thought he would be doing so. I mean, to be fair, it looks like... Is he in the SR8? He's in the SR10? Because I usually see him in an SR... He's in the 10, isn't he? Yeah, I thought he was in the 10 by the looks of that.
No, have a look on the nose cones. The SR10 goes up at the beginning. There's like a hole vent at the front, and the SR8 behind him has got 2 on the side. So SR8's got 2 nostrils. The SR10's just got 1 in the middle.
Yeah, I can see that. So James Barry running in 3rd position.
Lip's got to slow down. How are you going to get this off?
Well, he'll have to do it at the S's. He will not want to do it on the straights.
Oh,
there we go. He goes away there. Yeah. He probably would have needed to have done that under braking for the next corner, which would have helped him in a way. But yeah, he got away with that there as Christoph Lipp. But now he's got Edwards, Barry, and Schuster on his tail to the end of this first race. There'll be 1 more lap for these to cope with. But we'll find out soon enough. He will come out on top here on this particular occasion here in Mexico City. But they're on the top 4 nose to tail.
Yeah, they're not leaving each other alone either. They are literally harassing each other. Barry is still not making that move, and I'm surprised Lipp has still not pulled him all the way in. Oh, Lipp takes a wide line. Edwards chooses a tighter line. Barry's tucked in behind him. You can just see the defensive line from all 4 there.
Yeah, and I'm not sure Lipp is going to have a leg to stand on here, because he's now got Edwards all over the back of him. And Barry may decide to just slingshot his way past. He could even get both of them here if he's feeling lucky, James Barry. But Lipp just about outbrakes Simon Edwards into turn 1. And he survives for now. James Barry has his mirrors full of Christian. Oh, that's a spin for Simon Edwards. That's very unlike we see him make a mistake like that. But that's enough for him to drop down to 4th place.
Absolutely. Now, was that self-inflicted?
Yes.
Oh, it was. He hit the curb. Hit the sausage curve, it unsettled the car, and away you go. Well, Christoph Lipp, James Barry, 1-2 for them. Alexander Schutzke, third in the SR8. Edwards fourth. Gonzaga and Reitland. Look at them. They're having a right old little punch up. Ding dong Mary down here, further down at Hokila. And they're literally still going side by side. Gonzaga and Reitland. And they're not leaving each other alone, but they've got the SR8 of Marcus Lang in behind him at the moment. So these three having a right old scrap.
Yeah, I thought Gonzaga for a moment was going to run into Wrighton and into what is turn number 7. But they survived that one for now. But Christoph Lipp is very close to taking victory here at Mexico City in the sprint race. I'm sure he'll feel very, very happy that this one is over and done with. Out of the last corner he comes, and it's Christoph Lipp who takes the first win of the night here in Mexico City. He leads James Barry over the line, with Alexander Schuster, the winner in the SR8s, in 3rd position. Simon Edwards will be gutted with 4th place, and 3rd in the SR10s. We've got Wrighton and Gonzaga fighting tooth and nail to the end, and they make it to 5th, 6th, and 7th. We've got Jeva Brown, Robert Woodward, and the man on reverse grid pole is Heinz Braun. Bruno Fitzarino, James, has somehow made an error in these last lap, in the last lap or so.
No, I think Heinz overtook him.
He did, you know.
Then he dives him up the inside, yeah.
He did well to slow that down, I have to say.
Oh, he come in like an absolute banshee. Not going to lie. But yeah, he come in like an absolute rocket. So fair play for him for getting it stopped there as well. Just waiting for Kevin Harwood and Graham Matthews to go over the line.
And there are those two. Happy to make it to the end. And at least they'll get some points for finishing, I suppose. And, well, poor old Sebastian Lipp didn't even start that one. I just hope he does actually make it to the second start this time. I don't know if there's been a problem with his equipment or whatever. We'll find out soon enough. Anyway, let's run down the result for race number 1. Christoph Lipp is the race winner ahead of James Barry, and it's Alexander Schuster, the winner in the SR8s, in 3rd position. Simon Edwards 4th after that spin on the last lap. They finished ahead of Sally Reitzman, George Gonzaga, and Marcus Lang, who were nose to tail at the end as well. Jeva Brown, Robert Woodward, and Heinz Braun finishing in 10th place and starting on reverse grid pole for the second race. Christian Schuster made it to 11th. Just missing out on reverse grid pole, but let's see how he can get on in the feature. Bruno Fitzarino 12th after spinning at the beginning, and we lost. Tobias Treacle was 13th, Phil Glover 14th, James Frasnick making it to 15th place, and it's Seth Brown, Fabio Regis, Stefan Mills was 18th ahead of Steve Webb, with Kevin Harwood and Graham Matthews the last of those to finish. Sebastian Lipp didn't make the start, unfortunately.
No, he did not. There we go. Race number 1 done. Warm up, couple of minutes.
Yep. And, well, of course, the warm up is very, very short, it has to be said. But, of course, we won't have long to wait for the second race. What did you make of that first race, though, James? Because we did see a few battles, a few drivers fallen by the wayside before recovering. But I think, does that serve a precursor that we could be expecting for race number 2?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of people who could really do with getting their heads on. And I don't mean just getting their heads on as in getting on with it. I mean getting their heads on as in putting your head on. Because there was a few people who had some rather precarious incidents and didn't really do themselves any favours. So they've got to be a little bit careful as well. And I think, you know, a couple of people could do with just chilling out just a little bit.
Schuster just getting some mileage in before the race gets underway. And 15 laps it'll be for the feature race, for your information. No pit stops involved. They are all essentially sprints, if you want to call them that. But of course, the feature race is longer than the sprint race that we've just had. So we are looking forward to see how the leaders, or perhaps the winners of that first race, carve their way through the field for race number 2. The warm-up session is done, and so we should transition into the race. And once we are, then we can get a grid up. So here's your grid for race number 2. Heinz Braun on reverse grid pole ahead of Robert Woodward. Jeva Brown and Marcus Lang make up the second row, followed by George Gonzaga and Solly Reitinen. Simon Edwards and Alexander Schuster are on row number 4, followed by James Barry and Christoph Lipp. Christian Schuster and Bruno Fitzarino on row 6, followed by Tobias Treacle and Phil Glover. James Frasnick in 15th place ahead of Seth Brown. And then we've got Fabio Regis and Stefan Mills on row 9. Steve Webb and Kevin Harwood on row 10. Ray Matthews and Sebastian Lipp, providing he does make the start this time, is in 22nd place.
I don't think Sebi Lip's going to start.
Well, even if he doesn't, the show must go on. And we're just waiting for the likes of Christoph Lipp and that to make their way onto the grid. I think everyone is here now, and we are good to go. The 5 red lights are coming on now, and the feature race will get underway once they are all extinguished. Lights are on. Lights are off very, very quickly, and a lot of wheel spin off the line from the man from 3rd place. That was Javid Brown, and he's got the likes of George Gonzaga and Sully Reitinen. No, sir. Oh, that's contact. Contact made, and that's going to cause all sorts of issues.
Wow.
Huge accident there, but that's allowed Robert Woodward to move into the lead. He's got the jump on Heinz Braun. Sully Reitinen and Simon Edwards are side by side through turns 2 and 3. And we've got Christoph Lipp, who's made up places from 10th to 5th. He avoided the chaos at the beginning. Marcus Lang also making up places. Alexander Stutzker, James Berry, Christian Stutzker, and Simon Brown. But there are plenty of drivers affected from that. Javid Brown, Bruno Fitzarino, and James Frasnick.
Yeah, we'll have a look back at that in a minute. We've got this mid-pack here that's very, very, I wasn't precarious, because between Stutzker, Lang, Alexander Stutzker as well, Lip, and then we've got Solly Reitinen. There was a whole horde of cars there. We'll have a look back at the start. I'm not even quite sure how it all kicked off or where it went wrong, but however it went wrong, and it went wrong quick.
It's Marcus Lang going off the circuit. He got his rhythm wrong through the S's, but Heinz Braun is now back into the lead ahead of Robert Woodward. He's got back ahead of him, presumably over at turn 12, and now the Dyson through the Forest Sol, those two. Out they come now, and it's Woodward in the lead. Braun second, Edwards up into 3rd position from 7th on the grid. And Marcus Lang has a slowdown to his name, so he'll need to back off a little bit. And this is not the place to be taking that slowdown, to be honest with you. Out they come. Well, one man who'll be very happy maybe to have started from the pit lane was Kevin Harwood, because he didn't take the grid for the start, but at least he avoided all the mayhem. Yeah, as Edwards goes through on Braun.
Yeah, he's not going to go through on Woodward, though. Unfortunately, Woodward's still managing to hold on. There's an SR8, 10, 10, 10, 10, 8, 8, 10, 8, and a 10 in the top 10. You can see, but it's going to be very interesting for Robert Woodward to see what he does here. If he drives defensively and thinks, I'm going to hang on to this, better play to him. But we'll have a look back at that start very, very shortly, because it was a dramatic start at best.
Heinz Braun getting his braking wrong there, and too deep at turn 4. Behind him now is Alexander Stutzker, who's got Christoph Lipp for company. And likewise, I think that's who's that's just coming alongside Stutzker. That has to be Christoph Lipp, isn't it? So Christoph Lipp now in 6th by Barry up into 7th past Christian Stutzker. Seth Brown and Marcus Lang are in the top 10. I'm just interested to see whether Braun can actually recover from that mistake. Well, Edwards is getting on with it here. He should make mincemeat of Robert Woodward on this occasion before turn 12, and so he does.
Yeah, he's going to go through Simon Edwards. It's kind of expected. The question is who's going to be able to challenge him. Stefan Mellis is having a good old little bit of a ding-dong. We've got Zaga and Mellis go through as well. Let's try and have a look and catch some of this what dramatic incidents we want. Oh, there was netcode there.
Yeah, that's a concertina. And Bruno Fitzarino ran into Javid Brown as he rejoined back onto the circuit, and Brown took too much damage there, especially on the rear when he got whacked by Fitzarino.
Watch the reaction of the blue and the white. Just there. They're going to spark off, and the white's going to go flying to the left in a minute. Just as they go through there, slight little bit of contact, and unfortunately away they go, and then it just goes horribly wrong, and poor old George Gonzaga takes whack after whack, and then Javid Brown there gets hit. Fitzarino gets involved, and yeah, it just all goes a little bit nasty.
Those are in the pits. I think there may be one or two, James, that have not got bonnets on their cars but are still circulating. We'll find out who they are in a little bit. And then we see Treacle going through into 11th place. Christian Stutzker moving in front of James Barry at the same time. I wonder how long it'll be before Heinz Braun gets by Robert Woodward, because surely he's going to be the one to be the biggest challenger to Simon Edwards. And Sully Reitinen, who I believe was the one involved in that concertina with Javid Brown and James Frasnick, is He's continuing on in 4th position. So far, so good for those who have avoided the mayhem. Unfortunate for those that haven't. But out they come, approaching the end of lap number 3. Edwards leads the way, building up a cushion over 1 second on the pack. Now, can Heinz Braun get the exit he needs to just sail on by Woodward here before turn 1?
I don't know. Woodward on his day, he can fight. He can fight. He's in the SR8 as well. There's no reason Woodward can't give him a good old go here. If anything, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a bit of a speed difference between the two of them. Robert Woodward, Heinz Braun, 158. Braun just takes a dive up the inside and gets it done.
Yep, and Ryston will be the next driver to head on through, I think, in a moment. But Woodward has got through turns 2 and 3. No problem whatsoever. Can Braun go after Edwards for the win? And you can see Schutzer going past Ryston for 4th place, approaching turn number 4. And Ryston has to yield that time, I think. I don't think he was able to respond to it. And there are the 2 insert name iRacing cars. Oh, they actually come to blows. James Berry and Christoph Lipp into turn number 6. And there, Argy Bargy has allowed Christian Schutzer to get involved in this. And he was briefly sandwiched in between the two. Now he's falling back behind James Berry again.
Barry. Need to be careful. You nearly had Schutzer's nose there. Nearly had his nose off. That wouldn't have been good for you. You would have been across the front of it, flipping into the barrier. Robert Woodward's now got Alexander Schutzker tucked in behind him. I mean, I thought Woodward might have had a bit of a stronger defense against Edwards and Braun, but it didn't really look like there was much there.
Out they come with the Forest Salt. See Woodward just holding on here, but I just wonder how long it'll be before there's a Shooter and Ryston to go by. I mean, they should make mincemeat of him here, I would have thought, but we'll, I mean, bearing in mind, Shooter is one of those in the SRA, so that's more of a class battle more than anything, whereas Ryston is in the SR10s. He wants to get by both of them as soon as he can. Through goes James Barry on Christoph Lipp for 6th position. I think that move was coming for a little bit, and so that's Barry through.
Yeah, Barry's got through there on his teammate as well. Fair play to them. Oh, Schutzker's going to have a go at the same time here. Christian's going to have a go at Christoph Lipp. Sorry, I wonder if Lipp is struggling on speed here. He seems to be losing a lot on the straight. I wonder if he's taken a whack somewhere. I don't really know where we can have a look. Martin Lang's got a slow down, but Lipp is struggling for speed, I think, here, Tom.
Well, we'll find out soon enough. I mean, Marcus Lang, I'm sure he avoided the mayhem at the start. I wouldn't have thought anything to do with that and affected the performance of his machine. But yeah, it feels like he's not exactly going at the rate of knots he needs to be. And Christoph Lipp, well, he's now behind Christian Schutzer in their battle.
He just lost it there, unfortunately, but he seems to be losing a lot of speed. I don't think he's got pace at the moment as Christoph Lipp.
Maybe we could have a look on the onboard of his cockpit, James, so we can maybe see his steering angle. Maybe there's something to do with that.
I don't know if he got done that way. I've got a funny feeling. I wonder if he got caught up in the beginning. He's going in pit road.
Yeah, he's coming in. Yeah, something's not right with that car.
Yeah, something's just not cricket, unfortunately. And he has brought it in. He was losing pace, and now we know why. He's in pit lane. Robert Woodward still under pressure from Alexander Schutzker there as well. Solly Reitinen and James Barry. Reitinen is just about to lose that position to Barry. Barry's going to dive. Reitinen gives him room. Reitinen should have the inside for the next corner. Barry's got the inside for the next one. Job done with James Barry. Can Solly Reitinen get him on the exit?
Here he comes. Christian Schutzer going through into 6th position. And so Solly Reitinen losing 2 positions there. Space for they could just see further up front. That was Schutzer attempting to go by Woodward. They're side by side through turn 5. Those two, and Schutzer at last gets by Woodward that time around. And for your information, Christoph Lipp rejoined in 17th position. He's not down in last place, but of course he's a long way down from where he had expected to be. 10 laps to go here in Mexico City in this second and final race, the feature race that is. And are we going to see an idea as to maybe what's gone on down the field here? Is this?
Yeah, Tobias Treschel and Marcus and Tobias. There we go. That's Seth Brown, Tobias Treschel, and I believe that was Marcus Lang, also got caught up in their own little incidents there at the same time. So you can see it kicking off here. I think this is Lang and Brown that start this one. Brown's on the inside, Lang dives it in deep, comes across, bang, and unfortunately they all make contact. The three of them together, so yeah, not good, unfortunately for them. Javon Brown's been in pit lane for about 6 minutes. He's obviously having a bit of a horrendous one. Heinz Braun is under pressure from Alexander Schuchka.
Yep, down the long straight, and is Schutz going to go through it? It's strange actually, because the SR8s don't tend to have the straight line speed like the 10s do, but that doesn't stop Schutz from going by Braun that time around. And that has helped Edwards even more now, because you can see the margins coming up towards 4 seconds between him and the rest. And we'll see how Braun maybe reacts to that, if he can maybe go back ahead of Schutz, but it looks like Schutz has that one covered. And second place is his, deservedly.
Yeah, absolutely. He's worked his way forward. Alexander Schuchka, he's up 6 places, so fair play to him. Unfortunately for Robert Woodward, he's going backwards a little bit quicker than I thought he would go forwards. Unfortunately for me, I said he would put up a bit of a fight, but unfortunately he's looked like more of a retired Evander Holyfield than a, you know, than a David Dubois, shall we say, or Daniel Dubois, shall we?
You know more about boxing than I do, but the field is just continuing, coming towards the halfway point in this second race. James Barrow's gone past Robert Woodward. You could just see in the picture to the outside, unless Woodward decides to follow that. No, it's Barry who has his nose in front, and he's the one to go after Heinz Braun for third position. Goes too deep into that first part of the Salt, and now Barry's looking to attempt to go by. It feels to me like Heinz Braun may have taken perhaps too much over his tyres, would you say?
Yeah, I didn't. There's been a whole load of fighting going on, isn't there, within this group? And Christian Schuchka's just about to make a move here at the same time. There's been a whole load of scraps, and I wouldn't be surprised if any one of these have burnt up their tyres or overheated them in any shape or form. With 7 laps to go, to be honest with you.
Barry overtakes Braun for position. Just see that he got it done before the braking zone, and Woodward getting his braking wrong, and which will affect his line through turns 2 and 3. And surely Christian Schuchka's going to have a run on him into turn 4. I'm surprised Woodward maybe didn't defend the inside line to begin with there. He's committed himself to the right hand side. Perhaps he's thinking turn 5 rather than 4, but if he's going to do that, he has to outbrake Christian to keep hold of it. Schuchka has the inside line, and Woodward doesn't fight back. No, so it's another position lost for go on, James.
Sorry, it's really weird. I don't know what Woodward's up to. I've seen races where this kid ain't giving up, like he's battled like an absolute trooper. He just seems to be... I'm only going to put it in the analogy I know, and that is in a theme of dogs. He ain't being a Jack Russell. No, he ain't being a German Shepherd. He's more being a dashhound. You know what I mean? He's rolling over. They're all tickling his belly. He rolls over and lets them go through. Bonkers. So yeah, I'm a little bit. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but it's a little bit weird.
It seems like he's lost his motivation a little bit in the last lap as Robert Woodward. He was fighting for the lead earlier, but now I think since he's dropped down, the level of concentration seems to have declined somewhat. That was Javon Brown, who was in the... That's him coming out of the pit lane after that first corner, or the start mayhem there.
Yeah,
that was on the first lap. That was the aftermath of the crash on lap 1.
Yeah, but why are you... Hold on. What have you got to... there we go. And then Brown, is he going to come across the track? Yes. There's the problem. Watch Javon Brown. He gets hit, but then he just rolls across the track. Look. Bang. Bang. Yeah. See why he's just been told to hold his brakes.
Kevin Harwood was the latest driver to come in for some form of issue. He's back on the circuit now in 18th position. Christoph Lipp has passed Steve Webb for 15th place. Next driver will be chasing will be George Gonzaga.
He all had some drama though. It wasn't a clean pass. Gets caught up, then something happens here. There we go.
Yep.
Look at the pirouettes together. That was nice. Stevie Webb and Graham Matthews.
Mark out of 10 for that.
Hey, I'd give them 10. It was together. Better than the Great Britain's synchronised swimming team. I'll tell you that much. Look at it. Look at it go. Just look at that. 10 out of 10, round to go. I think Webby actually hits Matthews. And they end up stopping at the same point. 10s from me. Beautiful. Sorry.
Or 6s if you're thinking about the... I can't remember what it was that
Is it
Todd
the
and Dean
Olympics?
once did in Winter Olympics, yeah.
Is it 6s they do?
Yeah, it's 6s. 10s are not the highest mark. It's 6s that the judges give.
Oh, boring. But 10s. See, if you do watch more things like I do, like I've watched Dancing on Ice and stuff like that, as Robert Woodward is he going to have a go here or what? What's going on? Dancing on Ice and stuff like that. They all do 10s there as well. So, yeah. Can we see Steve Webb's move on Gonzaga? I'd love to. Okay. No, this is him having a go on Graham Matthews. Steve Webb past Graham Matthews. Yeah, I don't know where that's going to be, MJ. So, unfortunately, we may not be able to see that one.
Well, Heinz Braun, after being in the lead briefly earlier on, he's now down in 5th place behind Christian Schuster as they come through the S's once more. Christoph Lipp is 4.5 seconds off George Gonzaga in his attempt to recover. I don't know how high he's going to end up, really. I mean, if he can maybe get to the rear of the SR8s, likes of Lang, Treacle and Mellis, that could be possible. But he hasn't got long left to make that a reality. Wrighton overtakes Woodward now, although Woodward has something to say on that. Further on, behind Heinz Braun, through goes Wrighton, and another position lost there for Robert Woodward.
It's going backwards, isn't he? It's going backwards. Woodward, down 5 places. I've seen him lead races. Like, I don't know, this is bonkers. Ooh,
yeah, that's Regis going through on Brown. Rather aggressive manoeuvre, but it was clean. It was robust by all means, but it made it work. But now you could just see it's going to be a drag race involving him, Marcus Lang, Seth Brown, and possibly Tobias Treacle getting involved in this. Phil Glover is on the tail of these, so he may be able to pick up the pieces should these come to blows at turn 1.
Pretty wide. Breathe
Great
in,
overtake there for Marcus Lang.
Yeah, breathe in. Oh, Steffi Brown.
Still
Ouch.
going at it. Regis ahead in that red delivery machine, ahead of Tobias Treacle and Seth Brown. Phil Glover is thinking about it, although he sensibly holds back. Off goes Tobias Treacle, and Seth Brown slingshots his way past him again.
Great racing going on. Great racing. Tobias Treacle now in behind Seth Brown. We've got Alexander Schultz. He's got James Barry closing in here. Barry's making his way forward as well, up 6.
Yeah, and 6 could well become 7 in a moment if he gets the run on the pit straight here. I think the ingredient to a great overtake on the pit straight is just sensibly having a great exit out of the last braking zone of the racetrack to have that long run. And there is Robert Woodward, who's got back ahead of Sally Wrighton into 6th place.
I think this might have had something to do with this. Oh no, that's where... what did you do, Phil?
I don't think Phil did anything.
No, he did. Watch. Oh,
Slammed on the brakes.
Yeah, he slammed on the brakes before he made contact. But Tobias Treacle, Fabio Regis and Seth Brown going at it once more.
Here we go, 3 wide, almost. Brown, Regis and Treacle. Brown through at turn 1, riding the curbs for good measure. Regis holding up. Treacle coming out at turns 2 and 3. Now is Treacle going to head on by here? He's still in the slipstream of Regis on the approach to turn 4. He thought about going for a move, he's just too far back to do it.
Yeah, he is at the moment. James Barry, however, closing in on his Alexander Schultzka. 3 laps to go here, Tom. Which way is this going to go? Is Barry going to grab that 2nd place?
We'll see. I reckon he will do. I think he should have all the momentum on the pit straight to get by him, but he needs a strong exit out of 16 to get the run all the way through the bend of 17 and then on the pit straight. If he can get to within 3/10, which is round about where he is, but the exit is what's going to help him.
Yeah. This is where Barry's just got to... No, he didn't get a great exit, mind you. There's more fun happening down here with Seth Brown, Fabian Regis, Tobias Treacle, Phil Glover. Ooh! I was just singing his praises, saying he recovered on the end, and then he went flying. And there's also somebody else, Marcus Lang.
Yeah, that was Lang spinning at turn 13. He survives. What did he manage to do? Did he just lose it via his own curve? I wonder if he catches the curb here, James, on the exit 12, which propelled him into a spin at 13.
Yeah, he's unsettled already. He hasn't got that slowed down enough. Carried too much pace. Oh.
That was almost an unsafe rejoin.
Yeah, dude, he was desperate. You can see he's going, no! And he's put on the throttle. He's like, I'm going, I don't care what my relative says. And Marcus Lang managing to hold on to that position. Maybe he didn't say it like that, I don't know. But he does see. He was in a pure state of desperation to get that position.
He probably said it in his own language, but you know, at least he survives. That one does. He's 14 seconds off Robert Woodward. So if there's any consolation for Woodward, is that he's most likely not going to lose any more positions from where he is at. Christoph Lipp is now ahead of Stefan Millis, so that you know. He's still chasing George Gonzaga and Phil Glover. We've only got 3 laps left to make further places up. Lang is beginning to pull out the margin again on Seth Brown since his spin. Barry's on the tail of Schutzko again, James, and I think Barry, this is the problem at the Forest Sol, is where the SR8s tend to come into their zone where the cornering speed is what helps them, which you don't really get with the SR10s.
Yeah, no, it's really weird actually, because I don't know how much BOP has been done on these for this track. Obviously, we don't, you know, we're not really privy in the information. I can't really see in the setups chat whether or not there's anything that is allowing... Oh, that's all a bit mixed up. I couldn't read that then. There's anything that's allowing us to do that. But the SR8 should, I'm just reading, should be a little bit quicker, but yeah, it doesn't... Maybe it's been BOP'd a little bit.
Alexander Schutzer survives again over James Barry. And further down the order, Robert Woodward is still right behind Sully Reitinen in their battle for 6th position. Tobias Treacle and Fabio Regis are in the squad. Phil Glover's now got involved. He's past Tobias Treacle for position. Can he get past Regis as well?
Maybe he can. MJ says you showed it. Stevie Webb's on Gonzaga. I don't know.
I'm not sure we actually saw that, to be honest with you.
I know, I've tried searching. I've tried searching Stevie Webb, and nothing's come up for a pass on Gonzaga.
Spin there for both Regis and Treacle, James, at turn 4. And that was the kind of scenario that Phil Glover was looking for.
Yeah, he's moved himself up, and he's got some freebies. He's got some freebies and picked him up there. Tobias Treacle. Oh, brake hard, contact. And another couple of pairs going around almost together. But Schutzka still managing for Barry. Final lap of the race.
Yep, here we go. This will be the last chance for James Barry to make his move. He's actually further back this time compared to previous laps. So I doubt that Barry's going to get a move on. But a great job from Alexander Schutzka to hold him off this time around. Unless Barry can make a last gasp dive. He's actually getting the gap down considerably smaller and smaller and smaller down the straight. You want to push Schutzka into a mistake. A tighter line there for Barry to get through. Is Schutzka got enough in there to just hold on here through this short straight here before turn number 4. I think Barry's going to have to surprise him here, don't you think?
You're going to have to dive. He's going to have to be like a submarine captain. Dive, because he ain't going to be able to get through in any other time, to be blatantly honest with you. There ain't a lot of places now between here and the end of the race. So... yeah, Schutzka's just got to position his car in the right place there. Gonzaga, Glover and Lipp, they were having their own little battle further back. I don't think... Oh.
That's why.
That's why.
Turn 2.
Yeah, I'll have a look at that after the race, but we're just coming towards the end. Is Schutzka going to hold on? MJ, I will have a look.
And Schutzka is just holding on ahead of Barry here. I think he's done enough now, James, to be honest with you. Simon Edwards, since getting by Heinz Braun for the lead at the beginning, has hardly put a foot wrong since he said hardly anyone to challenge him to the flag. Simon Edwards comes out of the last corner and he's going to take victory here in Mexico City. A great job from Simon, a good job there. Alexander Schutzka should be able to hold on ahead of James Barry out of the last turn here. Second place for Schuster, the winner again in the SR8s. James Berry on the podium, and it's Christian Schuster who makes it 2 Schusters in the top 4. And it's Heinz Braun ahead of Solly Reitinen and Robert Woodward. And it's a long way back, actually, to Marcus Lang, who's got a couple of seconds in hand over Seth Brown. Christoph Lipp has got by George Gonzaga on the last lap. So he makes it back into the top 10 after needing to come in for repairs. So a decent effort, has to be said there, from Christoph Lipp, who won the first race of the night. He gets over the line ahead of Gonzaga, with Treacle and Mellis, the next ones, in their own tussle in the SR8s.
Yeah, great little battle from all of these guys. Just waiting for a few more people to come over the line. Fabio Regis, Phil Glover, Stevie Webb. Let's have a look. What is MJ on about? Let's see if we can catch. This is where they went round together. No, don't worry, you showed it already. Oh my God, I'm losing my marbles. MJ, you doing it to me?
Well, that's Gonzaga behind him on that camera angle, isn't it?
Yeah, and then Gonzaga just goes through. But I'm wondering if Webby got him down the straight. That could be the situation. Then they all end up going off together anyway, so it really makes no difference. But yeah, here's the results for you of the final race of the evening.
And it is Simon Edwards who takes the honours ahead of Alexander Schuster, who takes victory in the SR8s. James Berry third, Christian Schuster fourth, with Heinz Braun fifth place ahead of Sully Reitinen. Robert Wood running out the SR8 podium, with Marcus Lang eighth, Seth Brown ninth, and Christoph Lipp recovering to 10th. George Gonzaga and Tobias Treacle are 11th and 12th, and it's Stefan Mills 13th, Fabio Regis in 14th place ahead of Phil Glover, Steve Webb, Graham Matthews, and Kevin Harwood. With the rest of those to finish, Jeffrey Brown, I think, rejoined the race, although he only completed 2 laps, actually, so I feel he'll be classed as a non-finisher. James Frasnick and Bruno Vitorino also retired. Sebastian Lipp, just like in race 1, didn't even start.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You want to have a chat with Phil Glover?
May as well. And so...
There you go, I'll bring him in.
And so we hear from Phil Glover, who had a real dice, actually, towards the end, before that spin, unfortunately, had put him back down. But a good race overall, Phil, would you say?
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed that. It's a long time since I've been in the thick of it.
And, of course, Mexico City, one of the newest additions to iRacing. But how did you find it from your perspective?
I found it quite tricky. I only got the track yesterday, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was, I mean, in my practice sessions, I've not been doing that great, but once I'm in the race and people dragging you around, and yeah, it's great fun. I don't know where I ended up. I probably pretty much last, because I ended up getting into trouble with George, I think.
It was 15th place, I know, in race number 2. And
Yeah.
the first race, I'm just looking back on it, actually. It'll come back to me at some point. But did you maybe feel that Mexico City was kind of an equaliser between the SR8s and the SR10s? Because I don't think there was a distinct advantage to either class.
So very often the SR10s got extra legs down the straight. I didn't really feel that was the case today. I think they were pretty much well matched. I mean, obviously the SR10s are quite good around the corners, so, and tend to be better on braking as well. I think what seems to have happened is that they've not given turbo the full weighting in terms of the modelling, so that, you know, because we're at altitude, I think, aren't we? I don't think the turbo's quite giving as much power on the SR10. The SR8's obviously naturally aspirated, isn't it, I think?
Mm.
Yep. It was 14th in race 1, so 14th and 15th is where you ended up for both races. 2 rounds down the season, obviously raced at Sebring last month. We go back to the US at Daytona on the road course.
Yeah, that'll be great fun. I like Daytona, so yeah, fingers crossed for that one.
Excellent. Anyone to shout to, Phil, before we let you go?
Well, George, for all the continued work. I mean, how many did we have on the grid tonight?
We were meant to have 22, but we had 21 starts in both races.
Fantastic. That's really great news, isn't it? So if nothing else, that's been a really good night all round.
Excellent. Well, Phil, from me and James, Happy New Year to you. Hope 2026 will serve you well, and best of luck next week.
Yep, thanks very much. Cheers, guys.
Thank you very much indeed. And we'll get a word with the man who, let's be honest, totally dominated that second race. Simon Edwards, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Tom.
Happy New Year to you, sir. How are you? Good Christmas?
I did have a good Christmas, yes. Yes.
Are we at that
excellent.
point now that we actually stop saying Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year? Because it was a big debate on the radio this morning whether or not we say it up until the 8th because it's been over 2 weeks or something since Christmas Day. Do we still ask people whether or not they've had a good Christmas?
Yeah, I keep asking them which one, the next one or the last one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know when it stops, to be blatantly honest, Tom.
Okay, well, to be fair, the 5th of January is the 12th and final day of Christmas, so that could be my argument right there. But in terms of the action for you tonight, Simon, race 2 was, let's be honest, you totally dominated that, and race 1. Just maybe describe how that one went for you.
I was really enjoying that first one. Obviously, I was taking a big risk on the last lap there. I thought I could do a cutback, but I just bounced over that anti-cut curb and then got too greedy on the throttle when I was in the green on the outside, and then obviously lost 2 places because of that, but I didn't crash, so no, that was okay.
Still finished in 4th place, however, and good points on the board. I think you were leading the championship overall in both your class and positions. You had 83 points coming into this one, but of course, taking another overall win that time around. Daytona next, your circuit or not?
It's a bit boring. I know they've changed the bus stop, haven't they? So I'll have to practice that because I was always an exploiter of that, trying to just stay the right side of that 1X. So I'll practice that. I know they've taken away the esports line in the first corner as well. I never used to take that line anyway. So that brings me back in line. It brings other people back in line with the line I normally take. So, but otherwise, it's going to be a draft fest, isn't it? And we'll just have to play chicken towards that chicane.
See you soon enough there. Anyone want to shout to Simon before we let you go?
Let's give a shout out to all the new guys that have joined. I didn't actually count how many people were in that session, but it looked a lot.
21.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, that's good, isn't it? That's nice. Got above the 20 now.
Well, Simon, good to speak to you for the first time this new year, and hope all will be well for you. And best of luck next week.
Yeah, thank you, Tom. Bye-bye.
That was Simon Edwards, who we spoke to there. Shall we get a word with Seth Brown, James?
Yeah, Seth's had a very... Well, if we can describe Seth's evening in one word, I think roller coaster would be the easiest way of putting it. I think he's had more ups and downs than anybody. Seth, welcome in, bud.
Thanks. Hi. How you doing?
I'm all right, mate. How are you getting on?
I'm all right. I just realised the other day that I could actually make this race, so I thought, hey, I'll do it. My God, I was slow. That was awful.
Mate, there's been a lot of fast drivers joining there.
There has. Yeah, I spent 90% of that race looking in my mirror, I think. Yeah.
Either that or the scenery as you were going round, one of the two.
I was only once.
What's it?
It's fine. Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Can't have been just once.
Well, I mean, there was a little bit of argy-bargy, but I didn't go round.
All right, I'll give you that. Did you get caught up in the smash at the beginning?
No, it was one of those, the clouds parted and I just sort of snaked through it all. It was,
nice.
One of them. The racing gods were smiling at that point, so that was satisfying. Yeah, nice competition. I'm not sure, I can't remember who I was racing, to be honest, but it was close and it was good fun. So that was good. It was worth it for that.
Sorry, Tom, I've taken over. You carry on, sir.
No, it's so fine. I'm happy to listen to what's been said. But in terms of the SR10s for you, Seth, how have you found the machines? Because James was saying to me that it's very hard to get the car turning. You have to get the revs down to like a certain level before you can start turning in. How have you found it? Is it your kind of car?
I mean, I've been racing this for quite a while now, and I think you work with what you've got, right? Like, I'm driving this car not because it's the SR10, I'm driving it because of the league. And yeah, no car's perfect, right? I mean, through the S's, this thing's a bit of a pain. It understeers horribly. And the SR8s were just so fast through there. So, but, you work with it, don't you? Have fun.
Indeed.
Do you not know? So I'm going to quickly interject. Seth, SR8, you can engine brake. SR10, you can't. Do you not find that annoying?
No, I think you just drive the car. Like, I mean, the thing is, I've got to be honest. Here's the thing, right? I don't like the fact that you can have auto blip on the SR8. That feels like cheating to me.
Oh, get out. What do you mean?
No, yeah, I don't like aids. I think everything should be full manual, you know. So I don't like auto blip or anything like that.
So you don't
It's
have
not sim.
any form of clutch control on your car whatsoever?
No,
No driving aids, no clutch control, nothing.
no, nothing. If I spin, it stalls. I have to reach down and restart the car with a button. Yeah, I go full sim. I'm in it for the sim. So that's what I'm doing. I've been doing that forever.
Bats. Go you, Seth Brown. Anyway, sorry, Tom, carry on. I've taken over again. I'm going to shut up.
Daytona next week, Seth. How are you feeling for that?
I'm not going to make it. So I said to when this became the Battle of the Radicals, my schedule's changed, and I'm hoping that later in the year I can get back to full time. But this is just like a one-off because there was a gap in my calendar. So I'll be back. Well, I don't know when, but I miss it. That was fun.
Okay. Well, I just wondered if you want to make a shout out to anyone actually, because we've had a huge turnout again this evening. We had 23 turn up for the first round in Sebring. We've had 21 here tonight, so good going really as far as the Radical Race Series is concerned.
Yeah, amazing, and George kept the faith when the days were dark, and I'm so impressed with the way he and the people that have been around helping him have turned this round, and I'm so glad that it is where it is because, you know, it was getting a little sketchy, and now it's great again. So, but everybody's really fast, but yeah, love it.
Pull your finger out, Seth. Pull your finger out, son.
Okay, Seth, good to speak to you, and
Thank you.
best of luck with everything you do this year, and hopefully we'll see you back on the grid sometime.
Yeah, I hope so too. Thanks, guys, and yeah, nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you as well. Well, James, after 2 races we've been treated to here at Mexico City, a new venue for the Radical Race Series, do you think it put on a show that we've been after?
Yeah, absolutely. There's been a lot of close fighting. You know, there's been battles all the way through the field. We haven't been short of a few battle or two, have we? They've been battles all the way through. I've loved it. I've actually quite enjoyed this. I might, you know, venture back next week.
Yeah. And just to shout out to those who've joined in the live chat as well. And thank you so much to everyone that's been tuning in tonight. And of course, we resume action again in 7 days' time at Daytona. If you enjoyed it that much, do make sure you like and subscribe to the JP Broadcasting YouTube channel, and you won't miss a thing. James, thank you for your company as always, and we'll do it again soon. I am Tom Cairns with James Parfitt, and we'll speak to you again soon when the Radical Race Series returns.